Hey friends, hope you're having a fantastic start to your day today. So today's video on Thursdays on my channel, I have been trying to dedicate it into different areas of the home that maybe if you are a new homemaker setting up your home, or maybe you're one that's never been told how, or you just don't even know how, you want to know some nuts and bolts and some basics of it. So this is what today's video is focused as. And so we have one more area left in our home, and it is the bedroom. So today we're going to be talking about our bedroom, how we can make it peaceful, cozy, uncluttered. What do you do when you have a whole bunch of kids or a whole bunch of little ones, or maybe you've been in it for a long time, or what's a good thing to purchase, what's not a good thing to purchase. That's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Now, your bedroom, it's not just going to be a place that you sleep. It's your retreat. It's a place of resting after a long day. Maybe it's a place just to relax and get a sanity from the rest of the household if you're a homemaker. Your bedroom is like your little peaceful oasis and haven that you get to go to when you get a break during the day. And if you share it with a spouse, your room should reflect both of you. So we have had many, many, many different bedrooms over the years. We first moved in, I feel like we took everything from your house, right? Like when you grow up. So I took dressers, I took nightstands, we had TV, we had, the things that I took from my bedroom, and we put it together, got a bed, and had our bedroom. And so I think over the years we've evolved of what we keep, what we don't keep. One thing that I have not kept over the years is dressers. And so myself, we've moved a lot now. There's nothing wrong with having a bedroom set. If you've got a nice bedroom set, keep it. That's a wonderful thing, but it's not necessary. And it all depends on your storage and your space. I have found that having a closet, if you have a sufficient closet to be able to put everything in there, works amazing. Now, we've been fortunate to be able to do that over the last, I guess we've done that for a long time. I was thinking back, I'm like, we've done that for quite some long time. And we haven't even had huge closets. We have a big closet now. We had a bigger one in the mountains, but the one before that, Michigan, our closet was smaller. But what I did is I utilized the space, and underneath I just got plastic storage bins and put things in there. And so whatever works. I found that keeping a room clean, if the less you have, it sometimes works out a little bit better. Now, over the years, we've had smaller rooms and we've had different things, so I wasn't able to have things like chairs in my room or rocking chairs for babies. It was pretty much just a bed. And so it seems like, and I know in my life, the rest of the home gets taken care of, the kids' rooms get taken care of, but like the parents' room, that's usually the one that usually at the end, for myself, I've always found that it's like the last one to get anything done. We haven't painted, we have some holes in the wall, we have nothing on the wall, in our pictures on our wall at all in our room here, but that's okay. It's like in time, things get done. Don't worry about, especially when you're setting up a house for the first time, don't worry about going out and getting everything that you need to set it up. It's nice to do, and there's a lot of practical ways you can do it. Most of the stores, your Home Goods, your TJ Maxx, those kind of things, you can go in and get some things that are pretty and not that expensive that you can set up and make it very beautiful. So when you're setting up your room, think what is going to be a good thing for, like, what's your spouse and you're going to like? What kind of ways are you going to want your room? We've had bedrooms where they were dark, and it was more like a quiet little place to go to. That's a good thing. We've also gone in the room where this one right here, it's a little bit lighter and airier, and we enjoy going into it. In one of our houses, I spent a lot of time in my bed because I had a lot of babies, nursed a lot, laid in bed a lot, was sick a lot during pregnancies, and I painted my room purple. And it was like this purpley grape color. I think of the color of Barney. Yes, it was like purpley grape, and I'm like, this color, I'm like, this is just something that just brings like happiness to me. I'd look at that wall and be like, that just looks yummy. So paint your room whatever color you want. Simple thing is fine too. And just having some decor on the walls that makes it and kind of spice it up a little bit and make it a little bit beautified is a great thing. So the main part of your room is going to be your bed. Your bed is going to be your focal point in your room. Now, how do you set up your bed? What kind of bed do you get? What do you do? So I've lived a long time. I've lived a long time. I've had many different beds over the years. I'm older, so the beds that we had, our first few beds were, does anybody else remember? You had to have a box spring on the bottom. Do you remember those, where it had just the metal frame on the bottom? Older ones you probably remember. You put a box frame down, and then you put a mattress on top of it, and that was one. It was good. Once in a while you'd get a not a very sturdy bed frame, which over the years they break. We move, you take them apart, and they break. And so your box mattress would end up on the floor. I still remember my parents, they kept their bed frame for a long time, and then my mom just ended up putting things underneath it to help get it sturdy. And so it happens. The bed frame kind of detaches from the bed, so you're constantly, it's like knocking, it's constantly not staying attached to the frame of the bed, and so it's just it's not sturdy. Those happens. We've had, and then over the years we've had little babies, and so we opted just to put, I said, I'd really like just like the mattress on the floor. This was before like platform beds. And so we did the mattress on the floor, and I'm like, that was probably my favorite time, because you know what? I could nurse babies, I could have toddlers. It was on the floor. I didn't have to worry about it. So call me crazy, but it worked. It worked for when you had little ones at home. And now they have the platform beds, which are pretty low to the ground anyways, and where a child's not going to fall off and do things. And now they also have great little beds that you can put right next to your bed, so your baby can sleep in it. It's like level with you. All those, they didn't have all this stuff when I was young. When I was young, it was like a crib. That's what your baby slept in, or bassinet, and it was something up in the air. So this worked on the ground. So then we went to these kind of beds, and so these are just the quick setup beds, nothing too fancy, with the wood slats on here. What I've noticed with these beds over the years we have gone through is, I was thinking when we first, bed sizes, let's talk bed sizes. Now when you're, what size do you get? We have a king size bed now, but when we were renting houses and moving from different houses, I found that king size beds did not always fit in bedrooms. So you have to consider that when you're thinking. And also let me share with you, a king size mattress is very, very heavy and very, very hard and very floppy when you're trying to manipulate it. So think of that. If you're going to be moving, you're going to be setting things up, king size might not be the way to go. King size worked for us because we had lots of little kids. So, you know, you're spread out in bed, you have a lot of room for little ones. So a queen size might be a little bit more practical, being able to move. And it's, you know, it's a little bit, you can fit 2 people on it very well. You can even fit a little baby in there if you have to. And those work good. A full size is almost, I'm going to say it's like 1.5 times the size of a twin bed. You know what a twin bed is, right? One person, that works. Full size is a little bit more of an upgrade. I think if you're married, you're going to be a little bit more pushed together, and that's fine. If you don't flop around, you don't need space to move a lot, then a full size is great. You know, economical, a little bit smaller, that's a good thing. Queen, probably most people I would think would buy a queen size. I'm not really sure. I know that we upgraded to king, and it's nice having the space in a bed for a king size bed. I know they also have much bigger beds than when we had little kids. Sometimes we put a couple mattresses next to each other, call it the family co-parent sleeping, or family co-sleeping, and I see that they have like Alaskan king, and they have all these different kinds of beds, and I'm like, wow, those would have been awesome back in the day. So, but for the most part, twin, full, queen, and king is going to be your size of your bed. So whatever you want to set up, if you're going to go all full out and get the big giant king size bed, that's great. There's a lot of space. There's a lot of space to move. There's a lot of space to stretch out in your king size bed. Queen size would probably suffice most people. It just depends on your space and what you want to have in your bed. So we have purchased these kind of beds over the years, and they work. They're inexpensive, and they do good, but they do break. They do get loose. They do get wobbly. And so what we have found over the years is these ones, they're great setting up. My kids have had these ones with the wood slats in the middle like this, and sometimes kids get a little rambunctious on their beds, and they do, and those break. And so we've had ones, and we had bunk beds, and I don't even know how they did it, because it was the bottom bunk bed, but the bottom bunk bed broke through the slats as well. So it can happen. And so what happens with these kind of beds is they don't stay very sturdy. And so what happens is these bolts right here, they get loose, and it happens because unless you use like a Loctite and they're super solid, they're not going to stay on there. Most people don't take the time to do that. I would never take the time to do that. You just put it together and you set it up, and so they get wobbly. Well, and then you're older and you sit on your bed and you lay in your bed, or you're maybe a little bit more not as light on your bed anymore. And so when you go to lay on it multiple times, or you go to move your bed, because I know I've set it here and I've kind of wanted to slide it over, so I slid it over a little bit, the legs kind of, they're real heavy, so after you put all the weight on it, and they kind of just like on a little bit of an angle, they're a little bit of this, and so they just get loose. So then you've got a squeaky loose bed. So if you've ever gotten a bed, we have carpet here, so you don't hear it as much, but if you have a wooden floor or tile floor, you're gonna hear it a lot, and squeaky, and it's gonna be wobbly. So this is good. It's a good thing to set up. I know now they have a joinery bed, and this bed, which I'm gonna show you in a little bit here, is solid construction. There is no chance for movement. There isn't going to be a way it's going to squeak. There isn't going to be a time when you put this all together and then maybe in a year you go, oh, I gotta tighten the bed frame because it's wobbly, it's loose. And that's a job. That's a job. It's one of those things where you're like, I'm just gonna leave it. I'm not even gonna think about it. And then, you know, you get to the point where like you see a bolt on the ground and you're like, oh, that's from the bed. And so you're like, I gotta just do it. You take everything off and then you have to go through and tighten all your bolts again. It's work. It's a lot of work. And to not have to worry about that, they have wooden beds now that they fit together very nice. I didn't even know about such things, and one of my children were looking at them. They were looking at the ones from Thuma, and they were very expensive. And I was like, wow, that's a lot for a bed. Well, there's always an alternative to things, and that is what I'm going to show you today. FlexiSpot. FlexiSpot has been a partner with my channel for many, many years, and they started out with computer desks, standing desks, and now they have upgraded to a whole lot of things. Well, they have the wooden joinery bed for like a fraction of the price. So I thought, you know what, that is something good to share, because it's not always easy to find the brands that aren't as popular and much more affordable. So that is why I am happy to share that for you today, because I know my children who are young adults want to get those kind of beds, and I was like, that's a lot of money for those beds, and I'm like, that's just crazy. And then I said, why not this one? It's like the same bed. And so they were like, wow, that's like a fraction of the price. So I'm excited to share it with you today to let you know how it is. But first, we gotta take this bed all apart here. So I'm excited to put it together, to show you how sturdy it is, because that's one thing. If you're purchasing one of these, and then if you really wanted the very expensive bed, that's a big, huge price difference. And then you look at one of these and you're like, okay, that's kind of on the cheaper end. But then if you look at the other wood one from FlexiSpot, it's way, just a little bit above that, but way below the Thuma brand. So I think that you will be very happy with the price, and the fact is that you'll have the bed for life because it's wood, it's nice. These beds, they get dirty, they get yucky. You can only clean these so much. It's just gonna happen. We've had a couple of these style beds over the years. Like this will be our third one, and we didn't even do a bed frame for a long time because the headboard cracks or something gets ruined, and so it just happens. It just doesn't last. So wood is gonna last you for a lifetime. It's a good thing. So I'm gonna get busy and take this apart, and then we'll get the next one in here and start setting it up. All right, I got my other bed taken apart, taken out of here, and I got my next one set up here. And so I thought, when I was doing this, I thought, you know, I put a lot of furniture together. I put a lot of furniture together on this channel, and I think I've had to, sometimes it's hard, sometimes I'm like, I have to ask for help for things, but for most of the part, it's like I just have to figure it out, and sometimes it takes time. And I think I like always see those those options like on Amazon and different places in the store that they'll actually have people put things together for you, and I was like, that's really good. That's very good. It's definitely a huge, much more of a fee to put it together. And I thought, how nice to be able to put something together yourself, though. But I understand it's not always feasible, and sometimes it's awkward. Beds are very awkward to put together, and so this I'm excited to do because the other one I had, it's like it requires, sometimes you have to I have to get creative. You can look back on my videos and see how I put them together. I always have to like kind of prop up the one end of the bed, stick my foot under it, kind of stretch to hold it up while I'm lifting the other side. It's better with two people, but that's not always an option. And so what I liked about these ones, and my daughter was saying the same thing, she said it's just that you can put it together real quick. It's supposed to go together so quick, and I'm like, really? Because I'll sit here forever and put it together, and we speed it up and it shows no time at all. But I'm like, that is probably something that a lot of people know how to do. And so you can do a lot of videos where they put them together and things like that, but just knowing that, you know what, you can do this. Like, don't be afraid to try hard things, especially furniture. I have put together lots of things and I had to go, take it apart, put it back together. What's the worst you can do? For the most part, beds, nightstands, dressers, that kind of stuff you have to put together. If the screw doesn't go in very well, it's probably the wrong place. Or if you're putting it together, it just feels like it's just not that easy. Take it back out. You're probably looking at it wrong. And then, not always though, because I put together things where it just didn't line up perfectly and it was kind of hard, and you're like, and it was just more of a struggle. But taking the time to do it. Now I know when you have a big project, this is also some more advice. Whenever you have a big project, just like make the whole day. Like, that's all you're gonna focus on. I know even myself this week, I worked on my closet, and it was a job to organize my closet and go through it. I'm like, you know what? That's all I'm gonna focus on today. So for me today, all I'm focusing on is getting the bed together and getting the bedroom set up and getting that done. That's my whole focus for what I have to do on the side. I mean, apart from like school with the kids, things like that, but I don't have to do anything else pressing. So make sure when you think ahead, like you're putting furniture together, okay, just mark off the whole day. There was times where I would do TV entertainment centers, and I was like, it was a Saturday afternoon, and I was like, you know what? if I gotta sit here for 5-6 hours, I'll sit here for 5-6 hours to put this together. But these are supposed to go together really quick. So I'm like, you know what, why don't it be fun and put like a little timer on my phone and show how to put together. This is good. Now this I like, look at, it's like all the pieces, like it's literally what I like. This is kind of nice. Look at, they show you a little thing in there. Here, place it down where you plan to position the bed. There it is. There's all the pieces right there on the floor. The other part I have is it's over here, it's the slats that go in, which are definitely heavier duty wood. I should compare them to my other ones just to show you. I was taking the other one apart and I thought, I forgot how many bed slats have broken on multiple beds over the years, because you have kids, they jump on the bed. You know they do. Adult teenagers come in the bed and just plop down on your bed, and it breaks. It definitely just breaks. And so these ones are definitely a lot thicker. But anyways, let me show you this. So you lay it all out. There are no like screws and all that stuff. It's all put together. I think they call it, is it mortise and I'm gonna see if I say that right. Hold on. Mortise and tenon, if that's how you say it. Greg would always, he would build a couple things and he's like, look, there's no screws. You just literally put it together on the side like that. I'm like, that's genius. And so it's a great sturdy way to make it. So why don't we set a timer? Because it's a Japanese joinery design. I'm looking online, they say it takes just 10 minutes. Can we see if it's gonna take just 10 minutes? Let me get a timer here. Now I'm going to be filming, so I'll take some time, obviously, to reset my camera. But I'm going to have my timer here and just follow the instructions. I'm not going to go super fast because I want to do like a normal person where it would take time to get things done. And so you can kind of see, you know, like, hey, is this like a feasible thing I can do? Let me pick you up so you can get a wide view. Okay, ready? I'm going to get my timer out here. Oops, let's do a timer. I'll do a normal, oh, not timer, stopwatch. We'll just start it right here and we'll start putting together on the side here. Okay, those 2 times took, I'm gonna pause it, took like 1:42 seconds. Now I looked at it again, made sure, and I was like, is this right? And so if you look at when you always put things together, look at the picture, see if it lines up, the shape of your feet, all that good stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna pause because I'm talking in between here. Step 3. All right, it says, make sure you read what it says. Is secure the parts in place before proceeding to the next installation step. So we are gonna put the outside frame, it just slides, the top and the bottom just slides in. So we'll do that. Let me reset my timer back on. All right, start. When you're putting it together, if it doesn't slide in, make sure you got the pieces in correctly. So I was putting it on and I was like, wait a minute, that wasn't sliding in right. What am I doing wrong? And it's nice because they do just slide in. No screws. Okay, I stopped my camera for a minute because this corner right here, it was like a little bit harder to push down, and I was like, wait a minute, I'm supposed to show the ease of assembly. And so I texted Greg, I'm like, what can I do here? I'm like, it's supposed to slide right in. Now this end had a little bit difficulty. I was able to put it in and then I kind of pushed it down a little bit and then it went down. So now I came this way to put it down, it wouldn't go in. I'm like, what am I supposed to do here? So here, my husband, he said, well, take what I did is made sure it's the right way, which it is. And then I took a piece of cardboard, put on top, and an orange, or okay, not orange, it doesn't matter what color, a mallet, like a rubber mallet, and pounded in, and it went in. And so I said, I'm supposed to show how, like the ease of this, and how great it's the 10-minute setup. But he told me, he says it's wood. He says it's natural wood. He says you're gonna have to let it. The humidity affects any kind of wood. It doesn't matter if it's sealed, if it's anything. Wood is affected by the humidity. So he said even wood floors, you have to let it sit for a month to acclimate in your home. And he says before he recommended, he said before, let people tell them to bring in your house and let it acclimate to the climate inside your home for a few days to a week before assembly, if you want to be technical. And I'm like, I feel like that's true. I said, because sometimes it gets like that where you're like, that wasn't that easy, but it's the wood. So, okay, so I paused it because I went to my garage. That would take more time to go get that. But normally, your house is probably not hot Florida. If it is, and you got a lot of humidity areas, then let it sit for just a few, and then you'll be good to go. Okay, so now, here we go. Let's finish out. We're gonna do the middle here. Let's see. And this one, it says, secure the parts in place before proceeding to the next step. So I've got a couple little pieces to do in here into the middle. Let's see. Okay, I'll set my timer back up. Okay, I'm gonna set it back up here. I brought the camera over here. Restart my timer. I'm on 7 minutes right now, but I'm stopping my camera. So you got a little bolt here. It screws in the bottom, and just tighten it, which is nice. It does with your hand. The little light. Oh, kind of going right. Kind of move your piece of wood a little bit if you find that it's kind of hard to go, and kind of move it around and wiggle a little bit. Okay, there's that side. Let me pause because I'm moving the camera. Hard to give you a true depiction of time. So we're on 7 again. Camera. So put this over here. I do like definitely the sturdiness. This is definitely going to be, I'm excited for the sturdy bed of this for sure. Okay, this side is done. All right, we got the 2. Okay, we're back to here. I'm going to restart. Again, I'm doing this with a camera, so you just put them right in. And so they have bigger ones and smaller ones. Where's my screws? I'm sitting on them right here. So just take your screws. I don't know if they twist by hand, which is nice. No, normally these are all like the Allen wrench tools, and that's how normally you put the bed together. And it's like, it's a lot of extra work. It takes time, and the bad thing, we move a lot, and so we have moved a lot. So when we have to take beds apart and put them back together, I have found that they don't always go back in the right spot. And so I like that these are pretty big. Like it's a nice big, look at like a bolt to go in here versus like the tiny thing where it's gonna get broken and lost. Oops, somebody's gotta line these ones up here. I'm putting my back on. I'm at 8:30. It's hard filming and timing at the same time. Let's do this one. Okay, so I was doing that one at the end there. Now the screw wasn't going in really nice. So then I was like, sometimes obviously screws aren't gonna fill in perfectly because the machining quality isn't always perfect every time, but I just flipped the wood around and it went in just fine. So this is fine. So I'm at 9:54. Mind you, I had to kind of, struggle for that for a second. I did pause, but I was like, what is going on here? And then I'm filming my camera and I'm trying to stop it, but we're still at roughly 10 minutes. If you were a normal person, even if you're, I'm even going slow, so I feel like 10 minutes is not bad. Okay, so I is at the bottom, H is at top, and the Velcro just sticks. So H at the top and I at the bottom. I'll restart, but it's getting stuff too. Now it's nice that it has the Velcro. That's so much easier. We used to have to screw in every single piece of wood, and that just made the quality of the wood, compromised it, and it would break. So this is very good. It just goes on and slides down. Very simple. Okay, done. Now, mind you, I'm talking to the camera too, and I didn't pause it after the last one. So 13 minutes, but not bad. I'm putting it together. Now, if you live in an apartment and you have to worry about neighbors and people below you, things like that, having a bed that is not squeaky is important. And it doesn't matter. Squeaky means like you get out of bed and you move, that kind of stuff. It makes noises. And so this reduces movement. This Velcro, these are not gonna move. It's not gonna squeak, your bed's not gonna move. And the legs, they're recessed in, let me show you. So the legs right here up against the wall are tilted in. It's probably hard to see. They're tilted in, so when they go up against the wall, it's gonna reduce that. Let me move the other side up. So this can go up against the wall and not make noise when it hits against the wall. So this is great. And you know what I loved about this? I could slide it very easily. If you have hard, like wood floors, tile it, maybe it's a little easier to pull, but I know on carpet, our last bed, impossible to move. So this, it just smooth and glides. So I'm excited. I've got a headboard I'm gonna stick back on this in a little bit, but this great little construction. Go look up the price of the Thuma. You'll see the price of that one. You'll see the price of the FlexiSpot one. Much more affordable, very affordable. It's got the sustainable wood, rubber wood, which is nice. The two color choices are oak and walnut. So I was gonna get the walnut because that's like my favorite color. And then Brooklyn's like, Mom, you're Florida, you need the lighter color wood. I'm like, decision. So yes, that's what I got for this one. So it'll be nice because it can just blend in with anything. That's the good thing about wood. Do you ever notice that wood, like you don't have to match perfectly the colors everywhere all the time because it just kind of blends. Like this is gonna blend nicely when the bed's all put together and just be a lot lighter in our color choice of room. So this is good bed. So if you're looking for the bed, look below. This is just sharing this because I know my daughter's same kind of bed and I'm like, wow, that must be the new thing is the beds, the solid frame bed. She's like, yeah, that's like what everybody wants, Mom. So I had no idea. So good quality bed. And nowadays, I think that everything's great because you can mostly order everything online. So like you can pick it out and it's literally right away. It ships within a couple days and it's delivered to you within 3 to 5 days. So that's a good thing. And so that's great for like apartment people, apartment dwellers, or even people, like we always had a 15-passenger van so we could fit anything we wanted in the store and that if I did take anywhere. But now I just have like SUV, I can't really fit a big giant bed in the back of my car without sticking out the back of it. So it's nice that it can just deliver to your house. Kind of nice that way. Same thing with an apartment because they'll deliver it to you and you can just get it that way. And then FlexiSpot is nice because it's customizable. You're gonna see it. I got the headboard we'll put on here, or you can leave it like this. Like for a long time, I just had platform bed like this and this worked great for what I wanted in our home. Now I like the headboard on it. And then it also has the adjustable headrest. You ever see those? Those are kind of neat where like you can install it and then it can raise up on that side and it has the mattress, things like that you can do. But we like just plain flat bed for now. But maybe eventually as we get older, we might want the adjustable, or even younger might want the adjustable bed. And another perk is that it's a little bit higher. I think this is about 10 inches underneath. So my other bed was a lot lower. That's always hard to put anything underneath it because you can't really get anything underneath it. I know my other one, vacuuming, the robot vacuum could go under it, but like you could barely get under it. We would put small boxes way underneath because that's about all you could fit under there. So it's kind of nice that it's a little bit higher. I do like that option that you can be underneath there. And Maxine always, she like goes under that once in a while. So it'd be nicer to be able to go underneath there and pet her versus like, I can't reach her because she can't go underneath. So nice that you can put like baskets, things like that underneath. I know my girls, they have like those under the bed storage drawers that you could add to put underneath here. Works good for extra storage. Okay, you're gonna love it for the structural stability. This is mortise and tenon. Mortise and tenon, is that how you say it? Mortise and tenon? Mortise and tenon, I'm reading what Greg said. Mortise and tenon joints. Look at it, it's like almost impossible to break. When Greg was building furniture and things like that, he was like, that is just perfect. He made a couple of small boxes and it had that. It'll just never break. It's just gonna stay solid forever. My other bed, you wanna see what my leg look like in the other bed? Right here. Right here. That was my stability stuff. Yeah, and after you move this, if this bends, which you know it can, if you're, especially if you're pulling the bed across the carpet by yourself because you're trying to move your room around, that happens. It's something you'll have. You'll never have to replace it. That's the beautiful thing. This, you're gonna have to replace, I promise. Now let's talk mattresses now. Now you're gonna go through a lot of different mattresses over the years as well, and you're gonna have to just find what you like the best. Now, personally, if you're kind of moving and maybe moving out on your own for the first time and probably not going to be in your forever home right away, I'd recommend a memory foam mattress. And the only reason why is just a lot lighter to be able to manipulate and move around. We have a hybrid mattress here, and it's got the springs in it and the memory foam. It's just a little bit heavier, a little bit bulkier. So it's going to be whatever is going to be best for you in your situation. If you are going to be moving brand new into something, you can get a memory foam delivered right to your house, which is kind of your apartment, which is really nice because it comes all rolled up and you have to worry about going and like getting a big giant mattress. We did get a spring mattress. My daughter got one, a hybrid one, and it was a queen size, and it was a little bit, it's not as heavy duty as this one, but it did come rolled up. It's just a lot heavier. So if you're carrying up flights of stairs, things like that, that's a concern to have. So it's good, whatever one. And then you know what? If you can't get either of that and you just have to get something cheap, get yourself a mattress topper. Any kind of mattress topper is going to make your bed better than what it is right now. It's like, I don't know so much if everybody gets, we used to have to get the box frame on the bottom and then a mattress on top. I don't even think they do that anymore because most beds have like this, the wood slats, and you can just put the mattress right on top of it. So we've got the nice heavier duty bottom, and then we've got a big thick mattress topper on top, and that just helps. It just helps. It's nice and sturdy. You can get the egg crate kind of foamy ones, and those work really well too. If you got to do that alone, just go slow. My mattress is a little bit heavy, and I'm like, okay, I can do this. Just go inch by inch to move it. Another thing I recommend is getting yourself a mattress protector. That is something to purchase. It's not going to cost you very much. It's going to be one more thing to buy, but it will save your mattress from years and years of stains, because you know what? One day you will have a child in your bed and they will wet in your bed and get everywhere. You'll be nursing a baby and breast milk will spill over. Your husband will spill a drink in the bed, or you may spill a drink in the bed. You may have a woman issue happen in the bed. Something is gonna happen, I promise you, by accident, not by purpose, and it's gonna ruin your mattress. And so you're gonna have to worry about cleaning. And also, you see these viral videos where people do their cleaning of their mattress. If you get a mattress protector, you don't have to do that. These, I wanna say, I think they're like $15 for twins, so probably $30 for a king. So they're not too much for in between. This I just put on top of our mattress topper because we don't actually ever touch the mattress part. So this I just close the entire mattress topper, because we have a thick one inside that, and that works for us because this gets cleaned if I want to take it off, and I just can take it off and I can throw it in the washer with a little bit of cleaner, and it works good. So whatever, however you're gonna do it, but just get yourself a protector. It will keep your stuff looking nice for many, many, many years. When my daughter just upgraded their beds, both of them, their mattresses were brand new looking. They've had them for many years because we had a mattress protector on them. So get yourself one of those. Now let's talk sheets for your bed. So you're gonna find what you like, and that is gonna be your key. You're gonna buy some and you're gonna go, oh, I don't like those, I don't like those, and you're eventually gonna come across what you like. Let me give you a little bit of mom advice. A solid color, like all the white sheets are all the rage. Yes, I understand that, but they do get dirty. They do get dirty, and they do get dingy. So look for patterns. Patterns are a good thing, or color. Those kind of ones work well. We like the cooling sheets. They're just soft to the touch and that, but you're gonna find exactly what you like. Think when you're purchasing like thread count, they have like higher and lower ones. Some are way more expensive, some are not. The cheaper ones and the smaller thread count that you get, like, you know, the 300s, 500s, that they're not going to be as soft. They're going to be a little bit more rough. Now you might enjoy that, and that's going to be fine in your own personal opinion. The higher thread count, you're going to have a silkier, smoother experience in bed. But when you're first starting out, you got to do what you got to do, right? We used to get just the cheapy ones, but every single year our bed would just get worn in the middle, and we'd have to throw the sheets away. I think with the kids pretty much the same way too. So whatever you want to do, if you invest once, like we invested in these cooling sheets, and we've had the same one, the gray ones, I've had them for years, over 4 years, and they're still good quality sheets. And so I've got these purple ones I got this year. We'll see how long they last, but usually it seems like I have to buy them every year. So if you want some good quality bedding, invest once and you'll have the sheets for a much longer time. My little tip is to get 2 sets of sheets, one on the bed and one in the wash. It really does help, because then you don't have to wait for your laundry to get done. And if, you know, you don't have to, you can wait, but sometimes by the end of the day you're tired and it's like, oh, one more thing, and sometimes you just leave it and not worry about doing that. So, but find something that works good. Get some neutrals in there. Get the neutral colors. You can get a cream color bed or grays, whatever your colors are, in your home that works good. We have purple, but that was the one that we picked out for us because we really have no color scheme in our bedroom right now. Purple's a pretty color, and this is underneath, but the top one that we put on is going to be white, and that's just a neutral color for the bedroom, so that way we can match anything on there. And when you're decorating and doing your thing, just think you don't have to have 100 pillows on the bed. So people like all those pillows on top. It's just something you have to pull off as well. It does look pretty if you want to do that, but it's just something more that you're going to have to take off and put back on every day. If you're into more work, then that is quite all right. If you want Pinterest worthy, get Pinterest worthy, but also make it comfy. Make sure it's nice with pillows. You know, if you get firm ones for back support and you get soft ones for sleeping, just find out what your husband likes and figure out what you like, and then make sure you purchase accordingly. Pillows are going to be the same way. If you purchase cheap ones, they're going to, after a year, you're going to have to get new ones. So if you go for the cheap ones at Walmart, which are fine, we've done that for many years, you're going to have to purchase pillows at least every year because they're going to get flat. So invest in some good quality ones and you'll have them for many years. These ones we've had for a long time just because we invested once in them. So whatever's going to be best for you, you can do. Top one depends on your climate and where you live and what you have. The duvet covers are really nice. You can just put those inside and then wash your duvet on the outside. That's a nice thing to have. If you live in anywhere warm, we lived in North Carolina, it worked. Moving to Florida, it did not work at all. It just hot, hot, hot. So the duvet was not something that was going to be an ideal thing here. So we just have a thin bedspread on here, and that works just with one blanket inside. I don't even know if anybody uses the top sheet anymore. Does anybody use the top sheet on their bed anymore? Let me know. I feel like we have the fitted sheet. Make sure if you need deep pockets, we do. You get that, and then the blanket is what we kind of use on ours, and then just the top one. And this is thin enough that it doesn't bunch up anywhere. It works great, covers the bed, and then you can do an accent blanket if you need to at the end of your bed, or whatever you need. If we get cooler through the winter and stuff, I do have another blue blanket I put at the end of the bed, and that way I can pull it up if we need it to be warmer. But bed style like that's going to be preference and whatever you have, and sometimes it's just trial and error of like what works and what is good for you. All right, so I had to stop my video yesterday and then restart it today just because of life and busyness. So we're talking about the bedroom and all the things in the bedroom, and I was like, sometimes life, you just have to learn to flow with it, and like things happen, you're gonna just have to change courses. So remember, that's a side note for you young mamas. Life's gonna happen, it's not gonna go perfectly as planned, and you're gonna have to go, okay, you know what, what worse has happened, so like, not worse has happened, but like, all right, no worries, let's just start again the next day. So that's what I'm doing today. So I had to wait for Greg to help me put the headboard on, so we did that last night here, and had to put it, I was thinking it was gonna go on the frame, and I realized that it is the frame of the bed. So this sort of bed, you have to wait for the headboard to arrive, which I did not, and then put it together that way. But this was great. It was great putting it up here. We're looking forward to our future. It's one of those things where like we bought the house, it's been 2 years, and haven't done any remodeling, any kind of changing of floors, that kind of stuff in the home, which we have intention to do that, just not yet, because you know, life, economy, everything else, and busyness of time to do it is costly, and everything is expensive, and we get that. So I'm looking forward. They had two choices for bed frames, oak and walnut, and the walnut probably would have matched this room better, but I don't plan on my room being this color forever. So we have the blue in the walls, we have the gray in the carpet, but I'm like, we're going to be changing it over to like the browns, the creams, like kind of like the rest of the house, with a little bit of the gray in there, but mostly the creams. And so this is going to fit a lot better vibe color scheme that we got going on than what the dark one would be. So bed is done. So we've got our bed. You want to choose a good, solid, sturdy bed. We noticed last night we got in, I was like, okay, it's nice. They say to do the wiggle test and do the test of like getting into it, moving it. I literally ran and just jumped in my bed. The kids are like, Mom, and they said, you should have filmed it. I'm like, yeah, I should have filmed the 50-year-old jumping on her bed. So very sturdy and good. It feels like I explained this morning. I woke up and I was like, wow, I feel like it was like a nice firm solid bed, like it wasn't smushy. Like I felt like our other bed is smushy, wiggles, squishier. I don't even know how to explain that, but it's good. So we slept good in it last night. Now today, I want to get my nightstand set up here. So a nightstand is another area next to your bed to put some few things on it. So nightstands can get cluttered. I have my other one here and it's got a lot of stuff on it because I found that the more space I had, the more clutter I kept up here. And then I'm looking at it and I'm like, do I even use all that stuff? So the only thing this does not have is like the chargers on it. My other one has a charger on it, but in reality, it's like, how much stuff do you need charged? So if you get a lamp, like this lamp has a charger on each side. So we have USB and USB-C chargers. So look, you can always look at that. These were inexpensive for what I did. So I'm gonna just put a little station here next to my bed. So what's something that you use? So for me, lamp is nice to have. It's good to have. I like this because it's like a touch lamp, so you can turn on. It's real like quieter, not bright, what's the word, duller. So it's nice, I bet. And then I've got my earbuds. This is something I use every single night. I want to charge those right here. So this I keep out, and that's something that sits out because we use it all the time. I like to have my Bible next to my bed. So that's something I do have to read. Oh, this is gonna open here. So this is nice to put in here, to have in here. I'm looking what else is in my drawer. I keep a chapstick. I like my Burt's Bees chapstick. It's not the pomegranate, it's not my favorite, but when you, like my girls have tons of like moisturizer, lip stuff, and they're always going and buying new stuff. And I'm like, how could you have possibly gone through all of your stuff? They're like, we didn't, we just like this one better. So I'm a Burt's Bees girl. I used to be a chapstick girl, and then I discovered Burt's Bees. I'm like, well, that works. It makes my lips stay good when they get dry at certain times of year. So I would keep this in here. What else I keep in here is a lighter, because I do have a candle that I put up here. And what else do I have? I think that's all I have in my drawer now. I do keep an extra set of earbuds in here. It's my emergency stash in case this one goes. So I really don't keep a whole lot in here. I'm looking what else. I have a coaster here because, you know, I don't usually have drinks in here, but sometimes I'll sit and have my coffee. And so not to ruin your wood, get yourself a coaster. Get yourself some coasters. It's one of those things where you're like, do you really need a coaster? You need a coaster because someone will ruin your wood. It happens over the years. So when you're having a drink, it's nice to be able to put it on top of there so that it doesn't ruin your wood, because it's hard to get out the water stains on your wood. What else random things are going to keep in here? I'm going to keep my, this holds my phone. I use that when I film. That's going to go in here. I do have my other Bible. I'm going to put that in here because we do read this one when we're reading our daily Bible chapter. I also have a little, I have this one I bought. I have this phone's like it's a tablet stand. Actually, I had to buy it for our security system, and so I just kept this one to use when I'm laying in bed sometimes to do it. We have the remote for our windows. Those I usually keep out, so it doesn't look aesthetic, but it's there. Kleenexes, you use Kleenexes once in a while. I've got allergies right now, so those are going to go on the bottom. And then we always have a JBL speaker because we do use that stuff. So my drawer is nice and full now, full of things that I will use because it's stuff that I use in here. And that's it. So for me, my nightstand, that works good for me. But just have something next to you, like have a book to read. I'm going to be picking up another book. I just finished the one book, and keeping that next to the bed is nice to have. And then just so at night, phones are great, but you can just spend a lot of time scrolling on your phone. But picking up a book, I've been reading a couple chapters a night. It's kind of a nice thing for you to wind down before the evening. Next to my bed over here, the only thing I keep some homemade spray. This I bought at TJ Maxx originally for $6. And then I was like, surely I can make this myself. So I did. It's literally just alcohol, a little bit of, do we put water in it? We did put water, didn't we? Water, yeah, water, alcohol, and then we put essential oils in here. So essential oils to make, and you can just spray your bed with it. So what I do, because I have my little doggy over here who's sleeping in her bed, and when a dog sleeps in your bed, you get dog hair. So I keep a roller right here. I was watching somebody's video, I'm like, why is she rolling her bed? I'm like, to get the dog hair off. Hello, Maxine's not like a shedder, but she does have little tiny, she's like, are you talking about me? She does get tiny hair everywhere. So I keep this, I just keep this, I guess I could keep this, it doesn't fit into, I could put this right under here. Those don't fit. I keep those right next to my bed right here. Nobody can see. It's like out of sight, out of mind, just you guys. And then that way in the morning when she gets up, I'll just roll the bed to get the hair off. That's always a good thing. And then spray it so it's right nice and refreshed. It's a nice bed refresher you can add, and you're good to go. So that's your little setup right here. Nice little nightstand. Now also remember to set up your spouse's area. So I've already done Greg's over there. He's got his area. Put what he would like next to it. If he needs a place to put all his stuff. If he likes to put all his stuff everywhere. Ladies, don't complain. Don't complain. My husband is a more, he put everything out and leave it out all the time. Me, I put it away and hide it. So I kind of try to keep his stuff. I'll pick it out for him. But like if he wants to come home, put his keys here, his wallet here, his, you know, whatever he wants to put out, stick it all over top. That's fine. That's how he sets his area up. So that's his zone over there. I've learned over the years I kind of wanted everything nice and neat and this and that way, and I realized, you know what, we're two different people and we're gonna have to come together in this and figure things out. So if he wants to have his space like that, that's okay. So set yourself up a space, maybe give him a little basket to put things in. I've done that over the years. Like here's a basket, you put everything in it when you come home, so it's always right there. So he's got his set up over there, He doesn't keep too much next to his bed, just when he comes across things to do it. And I've got Maxine, I stuck her over here next to me. She's got her bed set up. We just cleaned it all up, got her little toys. She's like, leave me alone, and then we are good. Now, another thing you can do in your bedroom is creating a comfort zone. So not always feasible, and I understand that, but if you can just have your bed, maybe just a bed in the room, that's okay. We just had a bed for a long time. I have a nightstand now, but didn't for all the time, and then now we can put a chair in our room as well. I remember one time in one of our rooms we were able to put like a small sofa in our bedroom. We had room, and that was nice to have an extra area to go sit in. So if you can create a little comfort zone in your area, this is good. I was sitting here, I was thinking, I'm like, I should really get out my nice blue blanket that I have in the closet that we use for our bed to put on our chair. But this was a gift from my kids for Christmas, and it's my Maxine blanket, so it's got many faces of Maxine. So I'm like, this is here. This is my little zone. I like this chair. This is one thing I've always wanted, one of those long chairs. I know that with the ottomans, I know couches, we have them all day long on couches, but this is probably my favorite thing to sit on and just relax. So it was up in my office, but I don't really sit up there very often. It's mostly work when I'm up there, so I'm like, it's nice having it in my bedroom. So this is my little retreat center right here. So I will come in the morning, I will sit right here. My Bible is right here next to me at my table. I got my dog right there, my coffee, and I can sit right here and enjoy. Crack the window. It's mostly a fence outside that I can see, but it's still the sunshine that you can see, and just enjoy a quiet moment. So we have another one. I also set a chair up for Greg. He has the other chair, and his is by the other window. That views the pool. I feel like my chair should be over there by the pool, but I know this is my side of the bed, so it works. But it's nice to have a zone for you to sit down in. I know my husband enjoys a place to come sit when he can put his shoes on, place to kind of unwind. It's just nice if you can have a space for you and for him in the room. So think about that. If you can't afford like a chair in the room, think of like a bench at the end of your bed. This is something else you can do, is just getting a bench to put at the end of your bed that you can have to sit on as well. So someone put their blankets on here when you're sleeping in bed, but this is another place you can sit down as well to, you know, put your shoes on, do whatever. My husband's getting ready in the morning, or just to sit and have coffee with or whatever. So this works out good for this for me, myself. This is nice because Maxine, her stairs are on the other side. They go up to it, and then she can jump up here and she can jump up in bed, because it is a little bit higher bed with the setup we have. So I like having this. So think of the bench at the end of your bed, because that's a nice thing to add to it. That can add a little bit of style as well to your bedroom without adding, you know, too much, and also a seating place. Since your bedroom is going to be like your safe haven, your oasis, your place to go to when you need a break from the rest of life, keep it clutter free. Try to keep your room not as the place that you dump everything. If you dump your laundry in your bed to fold it, make sure you get it folded before the end of the day, so you don't come in and go, oh, bedding to fold, clothing to fold and put away. So keep it clutter free. If you've got to deal with stuff, put it in baskets. If you have a lot of piles of stuff, try to put it in, instead of piles under your bed shoving it, put it in baskets. Or they have those underbed storage roller things that you can get. It's almost like a drawer top open. You can get them. They're not that expensive, and you can roll them right underneath your bed. That's kind of a nice thing to be able to have storage underneath there if that's something that you need. Now, if you have a dresser and you set things up, have a purpose with it. Like when you have your jewelry, instead of laying it everywhere, put it in a jewelry box. If you need a little caddy, think of like a little plate. Go to the thrift store and get a nice pretty bowl or a nice pretty mini plate. I had my daughter, she painted me a seashell, a clam shell, and so I was able to put like rings and stuff in there. And so just thinking to have a purpose, so not everything is everywhere. Set it out nice so it's, you can go to it, make it so it's functional as well. So you go in and you go, oh, this is here, this is here. Don't worry about your deodorant sitting out. It doesn't look as pretty as perfume, and all the beautiful stuff sitting out. Make it functional as well, and just put out what you need, put the rest of the stuff away. And something else that can help in your bedroom is making your bed every day. I know that's one of those things, you either grew up making your bed or you did not. I've gone through phases where I did not make my bed, because who has time to make your bed? And as I'm getting older and I have more time, I try to make my bed every day. Not all the time. There's many days I don't because I'm busy. But when you do, it really does make you feel better to come in at night and go, okay, let's pull the covers back, have a fresh place to lay, you're good. And if you can't fully make your bed, just pull it up, pull the covers back a little bit, so at least you can just glide into it at night when you can. It's something about the mindset of a nicer, neat bed waiting for you after a long day. And a way to keep your room clean is by picking up as you go. In the morning time when you get up, if your clothes are on the floor, grab those real quick and throw them in your hamper right away in the morning. It shouldn't take too long to clean up your room. My room usually stays pretty clean. When it doesn't is when things get accumulated in here and added to this room. And so then I'm always like, oh, how is this all happening? But it's because I'm accumulating with more and more stuff. So as you clean and you go, your bedroom is mostly just your laundry, pick it up, put it away. If it's your office area, that might be a concern too. I know for me, it was one of my office areas, so I had my desk in here as well. So I had to make sure that was tidy, you know, throughout the day as well. And so just kind of keeping it in a clean, peaceful place. Now let's talk office areas. Now, again, depends on your home setup. I've never had a dedicated office room. I do now in this home, but I never did before. I used to just have an area off our living room by our front door. That's where I put my little office area. And then there's many years where I just had it in my bedroom. So if you have it in your room, set yourself up a little desk in your room and keep it functional, keep it clean. Have a place for all your files so you can file away important documents that you need to keep. I think I've gone through other videos and our decluttering videos on Tuesdays, like how to keep things clean and how to kind of go through and not accumulate too many things that you don't need to hold on to. And so you can watch that if you want, but just figure out which papers you need to keep, which ones you don't need to keep. Most things you don't need to keep that you think you need to hold on to, but most everything is online, digital. There's a copy of it somewhere in the universe. So for mine, I would have a planner. I keep my planner out. I keep a pen out. I keep one pen that I need. I've found over the years the one I like, I just get the same one and keep that out. Keep a little notepad by it so you can write little notes, things like that. Over the years, I've done clipboards over my desk, and I had them decoupaged with some cute paper, and I was able to keep things hooked on there just in a cute aesthetic way. Bulletin boards, whatever you need to have by your desk area. Set up your area. Keep it neat and clean though. If there's lots of sticky notes and papers everywhere, kind of go through them. Figure out what do I need to do with this sticky note? Was there something I need to file with this? What do I need to do? Something I need to do? A reminder? Is there a better way I can kind of put that together? So having your desk area is important to set up so it's functional, yet pleasing, and not looking cluttered all the time when you come in your room, because it's like, there's one more thing I have to do, because you want this room to be the peaceful place. Remember, not the overwhelming. Even if you can have a desk and you can put everything away, do that. So before we wrap up, I want to share something else that's close to my heart. So when I think about setting up my room, it's not just for me, it's also for my spouse as well. So if you're married, or if you're planning on getting married, you got to think about your spouse when you're setting up things in your home. This space where you're at is also going to be a place where you reconnect, and a place that he can come home to after a long day of work, and you as well, to reconnect as a couple. Now, I'm older, so I'm sharing from my own advice. I remember a time way back in the day where there was no TVs in bedrooms, where there wasn't cell phones to scroll on like crazy. There was no distractions that way. You came to bed, you had a husband to talk to. That's who you spent your time with. That's what you did. Maybe you read books because there was no digital world. But nowadays, it's so much easier to stare at your phone, to scroll at your phone. There's a time and place for that. I'm not saying you don't need to, but I think in our society, we've gotten so distracted that we are losing that time that was meant to be spending time as a couple, reconnecting, especially after a long day. Work, kids, life, there's sometimes not a lot of time, and the only time you do get to connect is that little bit of time before you go to sleep, because you and your husband need to connect and not just coexist in life. So how can you do that? You can take time. He can take you on dates. Sure, you can take him on dates. But one way to do that is just a few minutes in bed before you go to sleep, talking about your day, going over things. Those long dates and fancy nights are great, but you know, that's not always a reality. I remember myself thinking everyone said you should go out once a week. Well, we had a lot of kids and no one was gonna come babysit all those kids. So the time away was not always feasible. So we had to create those times. We had to have date nights. We used to order in food and we'd come sit in the bedroom, close the door, and we'd sit and eat it together. But the talking part, I remember the beginning of our marriage, it was a lot of communication. There was a lot more talking about things and sharing things. And those are what's gonna draw you closer, especially in today's day and age, because statistically, this is something I found online, that half of all divorces cite communication as the primary cause. And the average person spends only 4 minutes a day in meaningful conversation. 4 minutes a day. What? But couples who intentionally set apart time in the day to communicate and talk are more than twice as likely to report being satisfied in their marriage, because you know what? You're feeling valued, you're feeling heard, you're feeling that they're taking that time to listen to you. So how can you do that? I think the same way as you do it with your children. Sometimes you don't feel connection to your children. We did the conversation starters. Remember I talked about that in our dining room video, where we put them in a jar, you do questions. You know what, you can do that as a spouse as well. I know it maybe sounds a little bit different, a little bit weird, but it is a way. It's one of those things where you start doing it. If you don't start with anything, you're gonna be as far ahead as you are right now, which is not anything. So start with these pillow talk conversation starters. I'm gonna give you a free download that has a list. It's gonna have some questions that you can discuss and talk with your spouse with, just something to kind of engage with at night. It's one of those things like sitting around the table answering a question. It might seem a little weird at first, but after a while, you look forward to doing that. So that time of night might be that time that you enjoy with your spouse. Oh, let's figure out what the question is for the day. Let's do this. Or journaling together and writing in a journal together. Those are all good things to do. These simple questions are ways to open the door to connect. You don't have to solve anything. It's not about solving, it's just listening, laughing, reminiscing, and hopefully praying together as a couple. These little moments can build big bridges to things future. So how can you do that? You can turn the TV off first. If you're gonna do TV, maybe shut the TV off first. Place your phones in another part of the room. That's always helpful. Light a candle. Create an ambiance. Hold hands. If you're having a hard time communicating with your husband, maybe you don't like him. Maybe you don't like what things they are. You know what? Take time. Hold hands with him. Touch him. Stroke his arm. Sit next to him. Talk. Pray. Pray yourself. If you don't pray together, pray yourself. Ask God for direct, paying attention, communication with your husband, intentionalness. That's what you want to do. If your spouse is not that way, not most, many marriages are not. Many marriages, spouse could not care. But for long term, do this for you. Connect with him, talk, ask him the questions. Get the little list printed out. If he doesn't want anything to do with it, get one of the questions. And tonight, ask him before you go to bed. Go, Or ask, what was the best part of your day? And say, is there something that I did that I can do better tomorrow? Those are good things to ask to find out where you're feeling. Don't worry about answering his. Don't even expect him to answer any of yours, but just find you. You know, the only way to change things is yourself. Sometimes people say, well, it's not fair. They need to change. They need to do more. Sometimes they won't. Sometimes God may be speaking to you, and maybe it's going to be you are going to be the first one to initiate that. Someone's got to move on it, and why not be you? Why not be you? You are longing for those things. You take the steps to do it. Marriage takes intention. Even 5 minutes of undivided attention each night can bring a closeness that carries you through the chaos of the day. So dear future homemakers, remember this room just isn't for sleep. It's going to be for connection, for relationships, for rekindling love. So give your marriage a little space to breathe. You'll see the difference in your heart, your home, and in peace. So remember, there's going to be a free printable linked below. All right, so we have gone through most every area of our home that I could possibly think about. You just need a clean space, a cozy bed, and maybe a candle or two. Add some photos in your room that remind you of where you guys began. I have a photo over here in my window of one of my favorite places, Lake Jocassee, and where we were at. And it was just us looking out into it. I don't have marriage photos. I don't have marriage photos, wedding photos. I don't have any of that. I just have that photo because it reminds me of a time that we really enjoyed the place we were at. So I thank you for being here today. I hope you enjoyed all the points. Look into the bed and the nightstand. I am definitely loving that. I'm sharing that because I know those are all the new rage and a lot of people are looking for them, and so I thought this would be a good video to share because it's a good quality bed and just a fraction of that price. So, all right, bedrooms. You're gonna set up your bedroom for a peaceful haven and a great place to be where you enjoy being. Make it a place that you enjoy and your spouse as well. So you have a fantastic rest of your day. I'll see you again next week. All right, bye.